Hey everybody, Roxabox90 here with some tons of spoilers coming out of SDCC. We got some great dual decks, Kanzatar, Kier, and Commander information coming to you guys right now. Let's jump into it. No need to preamble too much. We have a new product, the Dual Deck Anthology. The first 4 dual decks, Els vs. Goblins, Jace vs. Chandra, Divine vs. Demonic, Garruk vs. Liliana. This does not include the new Speed vs. Cunning, but these 4 are supposed to be reprinted in all new card frames. I wonder if it's going to be a 4-part product that's, let's say, approximately $80 for all 4 or $20 a piece. I don't know how they're going to market it or how it's going to look. This is just discussed. We'll have to see what it turns out later in the year. Then from the actual Magic panel, Kanzatar Kier info. What's important? There's going to be time travel involved in the story. Wonder what that's going to be. It sounds really cool. Last time we had time travel, it was Time Spiral, which is one of my favorite blocks of all time. Hope it turns out to be really cool. Each clan, of which there are 5, has a 3-color leader, a wedge-colored legendary creature. Khan, who is all introduced. Khan! There's going to be lots of Khan jokes going on. Tarkir has 5 warring clans, blah, blah, blah. The important thing to notice, each clan is going to have its own mechanic, plus the mechanic Morph, which, for those who remember from Onslaught block, Morph, you play creatures face down, and they're 2/2 colorless creatures for 3, and then you can flip them up at any time for a different cost. And really interesting combat tricks went on with Morph. I'm sure they're going to have it since they've discussed already. There's going to be a lot of combat shenanigans in this coming set. They're going to have that mechanic is going to be really important. There's also 5 additional mechanics, so there's 6 total mechanics. I'm sure not all 5 are new mechanics, but at least some of them will be. We'll have to see what those turn out to be. They haven't given official names to the wedges as of yet, but we do have some initial discussion. The Asben Houses, Jessica Way, Salte Brood, Mardu Horde, Timor Frontier. We'll get to those in a minute when we get to the bottom. Pre-release information, the important thing to notice, we're going to have 40 possible pre-release cards at the Cons pre-release, 8 possible pre-release rares per color, which is good because it'll create more diversity than we've had in past seeded pack situations where I've, for example, had with the color green in my latest pre-release, people kept opening the same Hornet Queen, the same Horde of Calling. I think having 8 possible pre-release rares will create more diversity at the pre-release and make things more interesting. From the Vault Annihilation, they really have nothing new to add to us, and we're just going to skim over it. Armageddon is new art. Okay, Wrath of God we've already seen. Living Dead is not such an amazing card. Cataclysm, unfortunately, was just banned in 1v1 Commander, according to the French deck duelist. And this card is still freaking cool. I'm happy that they're putting a card this interesting into the set. And then Rolling Earthquake is a card that was in Portal 3 Kingdoms, very expensive rare to get. Really nice that they're bringing that back and confirmed it. We're not going to talk anything more about it until we get actual artwork. Then we have the dual deck, Speed vs. Cunning. We have Arcanus the Omnipotent on the front, and Zurgo Helm Smasher. So we'll talk about him in a minute. Arcanus, the new art is great. I'm sad they put this flavor text because it's not nearly as cool as its Onslaught one, but the art does look pretty epic. We'll get to Zurgo in 1 second. The dual decks hint at wedges. We already know that, though. And this is Zurgo Helm Smasher. He's one of the cons. We'll talk about him in a minute. Let's skim down. We'll skim past these. Zurgo Helm Smasher is 2, a red, a white, and a black. The last commander who, unfortunately, was absolutely insane in this color combination is Kaalia. Let's check out how this guy does. 5 for a 7/2 Orc Warrior who has haste, attacks each combat. He is indestructible as long as it's your turn, so fairly vulnerable as a blocker, encourages you to be attacking all the time. And whenever a creature dealt damage by him dies, put a 1/1 counter on it. So I would say a very strong Voltron potential card, very, very powerful as an aggressive, constant attacker, and stats are a little awkward, but seriously, if you can work with him as a Voltron commander, I'm sure he'll be absolutely insane in these colors. Very cool, very flavorful, fits his status as a giant orc who smashes things. And then here are the other ones we were talking about. The Jessica Way is the American colors. The dragon aspect, Cunning, maybe that somehow connects to the mechanic that this is going to have. I don't know. Dragon aspect, Cunning. The Dragon, Khan is Narset. These have not been spoiled yet, but we already get to see some of the artwork. Anafenza is Endurance. Be interesting to see what each one has. Ruthlessness, Salte Brood. I want to see what the Mardu Horde. The aspect is Speed, and this one has Haste. So maybe the one that has Ruthlessness will have Trample, maybe. Could be or Death Touch. As an Endurance, I don't know what it would have. Maybe I would say regeneration, but that's already, I don't know. We'll have to see, but those are pure speculation, what they have. Savagery, double strike maybe, I don't know. We'll have to see, but he's very, very cool and will be an interesting commander. Let's hop over to the Commander 2014 info. Commander 2014 comes out November 7th, so not too far away. 5 monocolor commander decks. Heck yeah! This is encourage people to play monocolor, but will also allow them to expand the decks by adding in colors if they try out the monocolor, see they like it or don't, and can change up as they see fit. And also monocolor encourages for newer players who are new to the format, don't want to have a very complex deck. I'm sure monocolor decks will allow them an easier way to break into the format. This is interesting. Several Planeswalkers, the commander status is being changed. Teferi, Temporal Archmage, can be your commander, even though he's a Planeswalker, not a legendary. This is huge. It does not mean that all Planeswalkers can do this, but Teferi can. I don't know if I like that so much. That really could potentially warp the format greatly, especially if the Planeswalkers are great. But we'll have to see how it goes. So far, these are all going to be monocolored regardless, even though there will be multiple Planeswalkers with this commander status. Let's check out Teferi. 6 mana for a 5 loyalty, alright. +1, look at the top 2 cards of your library, put 1 in your hand and 1 in the bottom of your library. Alright, lets you sort your deck, that's always nice, especially in blue. -1, untap up to 4 target permanents. Yeah, that's not going to get broken really fast. Oh my gosh, that just encourages so many combos, helps so many combos, just giving that extra untapped target, and it hits any permanent, artifacts, lands. That's serious business. And then -10, you get an emblem with you may activate loyalty abilities of Planeswalkers you control on any player's turn anytime you could cast an instant. I think that still means only 1 per turn, but that's absolutely insane, and that works so well with Super Friends because it makes all your Planeswalkers redonkulous that they get to activate an ability every single player's turn, and you can activate their ultimates on opponent's turns. You can, since it can be cast as an instant, that means that if someone tries to remove your Planeswalker or steal your Planeswalker, you could potentially use the ability as a in response, which is absolutely mind-boggling. No wonder it's -10. That ability is freaking crazy. I like him. I think he's very well designed. He's not in any means broken, but he's very solid. He does not protect himself effectively, but given how big he is, he could potentially start 6 for a 6 loyalty. I think that is not such a huge deal for Commander, particularly. Outside of Commander, well, I don't really know what other formats he can play in, but in Commander, I think he's quite solid. And then another card, Gul'Koza Giza, for those who remember from Innistrad, Geralf's sister was a maniac named Giza, if you follow the story at all, and she was very into raising the undead. 5 for a 3/4 human wizard. Black, tap, sacrifice another creature, put X 2/2 black zombies where X is the sacrifice creature's power. Interesting card. Well, I'm kind of sad that she's not zombie related because zombie tribal, but regardless, she's still going to be a lot of fun to build zombie tribal around. She works very well with, if you have a way of recursion, of getting your creatures back, she can potentially make a huge horde of zombies. I like how she's aggressive, even though she's a supporting card. Her stats are 3/4 for 5, but she enables a deck that can become very aggressive, and I love her design. I think it's very interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing more of these commanders coming out, especially the Planeswalker ones, which is really very different. And last up, just for today, we have Fanatic of Zen as our October F&M promo. This is the artwork, really flavorful artwork. I find it's kind of simplistic, and given the realism level of Magic, I think it's a little too stylized for me, but it does fit the flavor very much of a maniac, and I think it's a little more appropriate even than the original art. So kudos to Wizards, guys. This is a really playable, fantastic card, especially if you want foils for your cubes. Go pick it up. It's fantastic. So that is our information spoiler so far. I'm looking forward to bringing you more spoilers in the coming weeks, months, years, into the future. So if you liked the video and you want to see more, tap the like button and subscribe. And as always, RoxyBox90 signing out. I'll see you guys next time.